Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old as gold, but these rare Lincoln penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this Top 1, where we explore the incredible world of rare and valuable coins. Today, we're diving into a truly fascinating discovery from the United States, the 1973 Lincoln 1-cent coin. This coin, often overlooked in the world of coin collecting, has gained some serious attention in recent years due to its surprising rarity and incredible value. You might think of the 1973 Lincoln cent as just another coin in the pile, but let me tell you, it could be worth far more than you'd expect. Now, you might be wondering what makes the 1973 Lincoln cent so special. After all, these coins were produced in large numbers, and a lot of them are still out there in circulation today. So, what sets this coin apart from the rest? Well, we're about to uncover the hidden value of this small piece of American history and why it could be worth a fortune in today's market. To begin, let's take a trip back to 1973. This year marked a significant period in U.S. history, as the country was in the midst of political turmoil, economic challenges, and social change. The 1970s were a time of transition, and it's no surprise that coinage from this era carries a certain level of historical intrigue. The U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies that year, with the majority of them minted at the Denver Mint, marked with the D Mint mark. While most of these coins were circulated heavily, some have survived in pristine condition, and that's where the magic happens. If you're familiar with coin collecting, you know that rarity and condition are the two most important factors that determine a coin's value. The 1973 Lincoln cent is a perfect example of this principle in action. While the coin itself isn't particularly rare in terms of overall mintage, there were millions of these pennies produced. What makes certain 1973 coins so valuable is their incredible rarity and mint condition. Over the decades, most of the 1973 Lincoln cents were used in daily transactions. They were dropped in cash registers, jostled around in pockets, and spent across the country. This means that finding one in mint state, free from scratches, discoloration, or wear, is extremely rare. In fact, only a small number of these coins have survived in nearly perfect, uncirculated condition. This is the key to their surprising value, but there's more to the story. The 1973 Lincoln cent is known to have some subtle but distinct characteristics that set it apart from the typical penny. Some of these coins feature very specific minting errors, which can further increase their value. These errors can include things like die cracks, doubled die varieties, or other rare minting anomalies that make them even more sought after by collectors. If you happen to stumble upon one of these error coins, it could significantly boost its worth on the market. The demand for rare error coins, especially ones like the 1973 Lincoln cent with unique characteristics, has driven up the prices for these coins in recent years. Collectors and investors alike have been scouring through rolls of pennies, hunting for these elusive treasures. So, if you're lucky enough to find a well-preserved 1973 Lincoln cent with a minting error, you could be holding a small fortune in your hands. But even without any minting errors, the value of a 1973 Lincoln cent in mint condition is still impressive. Coins that are well-preserved, with sharp details and no signs of wear, can fetch a decent amount in the collector's market. As collectors continue to look for high-quality coins from this era, the demand for well-preserved examples of the 1973 Lincoln cent is only going to increase. Now, let's talk about the price. If you're wondering just how much these rare coins are worth, prepare to be amazed. In recent years, a 1973 Lincoln 1-cent coin in uncirculated condition has been known to sell for an astonishing amount. Depending on the specific condition and any unique characteristics it may possess, such a coin can be worth as much as $48,000. That's right, $48,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe, isn't it? A coin that was once worth just 1 cent can now hold such an extraordinary value, all because of its rarity and condition. If you have one of these coins hidden away in your collection, or you come across one in your pocket change, you might want to take a closer look. Who knows? You could be holding onto a rare gem worth thousands of dollars. In the world of coin collecting, there are few things as exciting as discovering a rare and valuable coin like the 1973 Lincoln cent. It's a reminder of how history, rarity, and condition can come together to make something ordinary into something extraordinary. If you haven't checked your coin collection or your spare change recently, now might be the perfect time to take a closer look at your pennies. You never know, your next find could be worth more than you ever imagined. Thank you for joining us today and exploring the world of rare coins and the fascinating story behind the 1973 D Lincoln 1 cent. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about the hidden treasures that might be lurking in your coin jar, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future coin discoveries. Happy collecting, and remember, 1 cent can sometimes be worth much more than you think. Top 2, we're diving into something truly exciting, the rare and valuable 1981 D Lincoln 1 cent. At first glance, this might seem like just another penny, but trust me, it's far from ordinary. In fact, if you're lucky enough to come across one in pristine condition, it could be worth a small fortune. Let's explore why this 1981 D penny is making waves in the world of coin collecting and how much it could be worth today. The year 1981 was a significant one in the history of the United States. The nation was entering a new decade, with a shift in politics and economics. Under President Ronald Reagan, the country was experiencing a transformation in its policies and international standing. However, on the ground, not everything seemed so monumental, at least not in terms of everyday life. The minting of coins continued as usual, including the production of the Lincoln 1 cent, which was released in large numbers that year. So, what makes the 1981 D Lincoln penny so special? To understand this, we need to first look at its design and the role it plays in the larger context of American coinage. The Lincoln 1 cent has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1909, and over the years, it's seen various changes in design. But the 1981 D is a piece of history on its own, as it was minted during a period of transition for the U.S. economy and currency. Now, let's talk about rarity. The 1981 D Lincoln cent is relatively common in terms of production numbers, with billions of these pennies being minted that year. However, what sets some of these coins apart is their condition. Most of the 1981 D pennies were used heavily in circulation, which means that the vast majority of them are worn, scratched, and faded. But here's the key: finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is extremely rare. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that have been preserved in their original, uncirculated state. And while many of the 1981 D pennies may seem unremarkable, some of them have survived the test of time with sharp details and minimal wear. These coins, especially those that are graded as mint state or higher, are highly coveted in the numismatic world. The value of these coins can skyrocket, as collectors are willing to pay a premium for well-preserved specimens, but it's not just the condition that makes this coin special. Some of the 1981 D pennies have been known to feature subtle minting errors, which can drastically increase their value. A minting error can occur for a variety of reasons, perhaps a die clash, a double strike, or a misalignment in the design. These errors are rare and often go unnoticed by casual observers, but for serious collectors, they represent a unique and valuable find. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1981 D Lincoln cent with one of these errors, it could fetch a much higher price than a typical coin in good condition. One of the most sought-after varieties of the 1981 D penny is a specific type of wide AM error. This refers to the spacing between the A and M and the word America on the reverse side of the coin. In some cases, due to a slight misalignment of the die, the letters appear farther apart than normal. This subtle difference can make a world of difference in the coin's value, as collectors eagerly seek out these rare varieties. So, how much can you expect to get for a 1981 D Lincoln 1 cent? If you're fortunate enough to possess one of these rare coins in mint condition, or even better, one with a minting error, prepare to be amazed by its value. While the majority of 1981 D pennies are worth just 1 cent, the rare, uncirculated examples can fetch an astounding price. In fact, some of these coins have been known to sell for as much as $46,000. Yes, you heard that right, $46,000 for a single penny. It's truly mind-blowing to think that a coin worth just 1 cent could appreciate in value to such an incredible amount. The rarity, condition, and potential for minting errors are all factors that contribute to the coin's astonishing worth. Now, you might be wondering, how can I tell if my 1981 D penny is worth so much? Well, the first step is to carefully examine the condition of the coin. If it's in excellent shape, with no visible scratches, discoloration, or signs of wear, it could be worth more than you think. Next, check for any minting errors, especially the wide AM variety or other anomalies that could make your coin stand out. If you believe your coin could be valuable, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded by a trusted numismatic service to determine its true value. Coin collecting is a hobby that's both rewarding and thrilling, especially when you come across a rare find like the 1981 D Lincoln cent. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, coins like this serve as a reminder that the value of a piece of currency is often more than meets the eye. The story of the 1981 D penny is a testament to the fascinating world of numismatics, where history, rarity, and condition come together to create something truly valuable. Thank you so much for joining me today in uncovering the hidden worth of the 1981 D Lincoln 1 cent. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on the latest coin discoveries, be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you never miss an exciting new find. Remember, the world of rare coins is full of surprises, and you never know what treasure might be waiting in your own collection. Happy collecting, and keep searching. You might just be holding onto a coin worth thousands of dollars. Top 3. We have something truly fascinating for you: the rare and valuable 1977 Lincoln 1 cent coin. You might be thinking, a 1977 penny? That's just another common coin, right? Well, think again. This particular coin has been the subject of great interest in the numismatic world, and there's a very good reason why collectors are willing to pay top dollar for it. In fact, it could be worth much more than you ever imagined. Stick with me as we uncover the history, rarity, and potential value of this hidden gem from 1977. The 1970s were a time of change in the United States, both politically and socially. The country was dealing with the aftermath of the Vietnam War, adjusting to economic shifts, and navigating an era of political scandal. Yet, despite the turmoil, one thing remained constant: the minting of coins like the Lincoln 1 cent, which continued to circulate throughout the nation. By 1977, the penny had been in circulation for over 6 decades, with a design that had remained unchanged for years. But little did anyone know that among the millions of pennies produced that year, a rare few would stand out, making them incredibly valuable today. So, what makes the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent so special? The first clue lies in its rarity. Most of the 1977 pennies were produced and spent in circulation as usual, and as you can imagine, over time, these coins became worn and damaged. Finding one in excellent condition is already a rarity, but when you add in other factors, such as minting errors, this coin becomes a true treasure for collectors. Coin collecting is all about the condition of the piece, and that's where the value of the 1977 penny lies. While many of these coins were heavily circulated, some survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, untouched by time. These well-preserved examples are highly sought after by collectors because of their rarity. Imagine this: a coin that was once worth just 1 cent, if kept in perfect condition, could now be worth thousands of dollars. But we're not just talking about any regular coin. This is about a 1977 Lincoln 1 cent that stands the test of time, looking as if it was just minted yesterday. But condition isn't the only factor that makes this penny valuable. Some of these 1977 pennies were struck with minting errors, which is a huge deal for collectors. Minting errors are mistakes that happen during the production process, and they make coins even more unique. These errors can range from double strikes to misaligned dies or even planchet flaws. A coin with one of these errors is often worth much more than a coin without them. One of the most notable varieties among the 1977 pennies is the famous double die error. A double die occurs when a coin is struck twice by the same die, resulting in a slightly doubled image. In the case of the 1977 Lincoln penny, this error is most often found on the obverse, front, side of the coin, where Abraham Lincoln's features are slightly duplicated. The double die variety is especially valuable because it's a rare mistake, and many collectors will pay a premium for coins with this error. Another error that makes the 1977 penny valuable is the misalignment of the design. In some cases, the penny was struck with a misaligned die, causing the Lincoln portrait and the surrounding inscription to appear off-center. These types of errors are highly desirable to collectors because they're unusual and can't be easily replicated. If you find a 1977 Lincoln penny with a misaligned design, it could be worth a lot more than you might expect. Now, let's talk about the market value. You might be wondering, how much is a 1977 Lincoln 1 cent actually worth? Well, here's the exciting part. While a standard 1977 penny in circulated condition might only be worth 1 cent, rare specimens in uncirculated condition, especially those with minting errors, can fetch a surprising price. In fact, a 1977 Lincoln penny with one of these rare features has been known to sell for as much as $42,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $42,000. A single 1977 penny could be worth that much if it's in the right condition or has a minting error that collectors are specifically looking for. Imagine discovering a rare piece of history in your change jar or stumbling upon one in a roll of pennies. That seemingly ordinary penny could turn into a significant windfall if it turns out to be one of these rare, valuable coins. So, how can you tell if your 1977 Lincoln 1 cent is worth this much? First, examine the condition of the coin. If it's shiny, crisp, and has no visible signs of wear, it could be a candidate for higher value. Second, carefully inspect the coin for any minting errors. Look for signs of doubling or misalignment in the design. If you spot anything unusual, it's worth having the coin professionally graded by a reputable numismatic expert to determine its true value. Finding a coin like the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent with an error is a thrilling moment for any collector. These rare pennies have been steadily gaining attention in the numismatic community, and the demand for them continues to rise. As more and more collectors and investors seek out these unique coins, their value will likely continue to increase, making them even more sought after in the future. Coin collecting is an exciting journey filled with unexpected discoveries, and the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent is a perfect example of how a simple piece of history can transform into something of great worth. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner just starting to explore the world of coins, this penny serves as a reminder that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hidden in plain sight. Thank you for joining me today as we uncovered the surprising value of the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a chance to discover the next hidden gem. Remember, you never know what treasure might be hiding in your pocket change. Keep searching, and happy collecting! Top 4. We're diving into a truly fascinating coin from the United States, an often overlooked but surprisingly valuable piece of history, the 1985 Lincoln 1 cent. At first glance, you might think, it's just another penny, but trust me, this particular coin has a secret worth far beyond its face value. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just getting into the hobby, this rare 1985 Lincoln cent might be one of the most valuable coins hiding in your collection, and we're about to explore why the 1980s were an interesting time in American history. The country was experiencing significant social and economic changes, and the U.S. Mint was working hard to produce coins that reflected the spirit of the times. The Lincoln cent, designed by Victor David Brenner and featuring the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, had already been in circulation for decades. But little did anyone know, a small but significant number of 1985 pennies would eventually become a hot topic in the numismatic world. You might be wondering, what makes the 1985 Lincoln 1 cent so special? Well, like many rare coins, its value doesn't come from its widespread circulation. In fact, it's the rarity of finding this particular coin in pristine condition, combined with its subtle minting errors, that has made it so valuable to collectors. Let's break it down and take a closer look at why this coin stands out from the rest. First off, most of the 1985 Lincoln cents were minted in massive quantities, just like most pennies. But the secret to their value lies in their condition. The majority of these pennies were circulated heavily. They went through countless hands, dropping into change jars, wallets, and cash registers, becoming worn and damaged in the process. However, some of these 1985 pennies have managed to survive in pristine condition, untouched by the wear and tear of daily use. These uncommon examples, with their sharp details and shiny surfaces, are rare and incredibly valuable in the world of coin collecting. But there's more to the story. The 1985 Lincoln cent is particularly intriguing because some of these coins feature minting errors that make them even more desirable to collectors. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process, whether it's a misalignment, a doubled die, or some other flaw. These errors can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into a one-of-a-kind collectible point. One of the most sought-after variations of the 1985 Lincoln cent is the double die variety. A double die occurs when the coin is struck twice by the same die, causing part of the design to appear slightly doubled or blurred. In the case of the 1985 penny, this error is most noticeable on the date and the lettering. If you find a 1985 penny with this error, you could have a rare and valuable coin on your hands. Collectors often pay a premium for these coins because of their uniqueness and the fact that they're so rare. Another potential minting error to look for on the 1985 Lincoln cent is a misaligned die. This happens when the die used to strike the coin isn't perfectly aligned with the blank planchet. This causes the coin's design to appear off-center, creating an unusual and visually interesting effect. Coins with misaligned dies are highly collectible, and they often fetch a much higher price than regular pennies. And now, let's talk about the most important part, the value. You might be wondering, how much could a 1985 Lincoln 1 cent actually be worth? Well, depending on the coin's condition and any minting errors it may have, the price can vary. But for coins that are in mint condition or feature rare minting errors, the price tag can be surprisingly high. If you happen to own a 1985 Lincoln penny in uncirculated condition, or one with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a coin worth as much as $38,000. That's right, $38,000 for a single penny. It's almost hard to believe that something so small and seemingly ordinary could carry such immense value. But in the world of coin collecting, it's not the size of the coin that matters, but its rarity and the condition it's in. So, if you have an old jar of pennies or a collection that's gathering dust, it might be time to take a closer look at your 1985 Lincoln cents. You never know, you could be holding a coin that's worth a small fortune now. How do you identify if your 1985 Lincoln cent is worth that much? First, take a close look at the coin's condition. If it's in excellent, uncirculated shape with no visible signs of wear, you might have a valuable piece. Next, examine the details of the design for any minting errors. Look for any signs of doubling, misalignment, or other anomalies in the lettering and design. If you spot something that looks unusual, it might be worth sending the coin to a professional grading service for a more detailed evaluation. Coin collecting is all about patience and the thrill of discovery, and coins like the 1985 Lincoln cent are perfect examples of how a seemingly ordinary penny can turn into an extraordinary find. Whether you're a casual collector or a serious numismatist, there's always excitement in uncovering the hidden gems that can be found in your coin jar or collection. And sometimes, those gems can be worth far more than you ever expected. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the world of rare coins and discovering the hidden value of the 1985 Lincoln 1 cent. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated on all of our future coin discoveries. Keep your eyes peeled and your magnifying glass handy, you never know what valuable coins might be waiting for you to find. Happy collecting, and remember, sometimes even a penny can be worth a fortune. Top 5. We have an exciting story to tell about a coin that may be sitting in your collection, or perhaps even your change jar, right now, the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent. While it may seem like just another penny, this coin holds a fascinating secret that could make it worth a small fortune. Many of these pennies were minted in large quantities, but some rare and unique varieties have been discovered that are worth thousands of dollars. So, if you've ever wondered whether that seemingly insignificant penny could turn into something valuable, you're about to find out how a 1977 Lincoln 1 cent might just be the treasure you've been looking for. The 1970s was a transformative decade for the United States, both politically and socially. The country was recovering from the effects of the Vietnam War and the Watergate scandal, and it was in the midst of economic change. However, while the nation was going through these shifts, the U.S. Mint continued to churn out the Lincoln 1 cent, which had been in circulation since 1909. The design had undergone little change in the previous decades, and the penny was still a beloved part of everyday life, but here's where it gets interesting. While the 1977 Lincoln penny seems unremarkable at first glance, there are key factors that make certain versions of this coin incredibly valuable. The first factor to consider is rarity. In terms of sheer numbers, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies in 1977. Most of these coins were heavily circulated, meaning they went through countless transactions and were subjected to wear and tear. Finding one of these coins in pristine, uncirculated condition is already quite rare, which sets the stage for its potential value. What makes the 1977 Lincoln penny even more intriguing, however, are the minting errors that sometimes occurred during production. Minting errors are mistakes that happen when a coin is struck with a misaligned die, has a doubled image, or exhibits some other anomaly. These errors can transform a coin from something ordinary into something truly unique and valuable. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that have these special features because they are considered to be one-of-a-kind pieces of history. One of the most exciting errors to look for on the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent is the double die variety. A double die error happens when a coin is struck twice by the same die, causing the design to appear slightly doubled. On the 1977 penny, this error is often most noticeable on the date and the word Liberty on the obverse side of the coin. If you happen to find a 1977 penny with this double die error, you've just stumbled upon something rare. These coins are highly sought after by collectors, and their value can rise significantly due to the error, but that's not the only minting error that collectors are hunting for. Another type of error that makes the 1977 penny especially valuable is the misalignment of the die. In some cases, the coin was struck with a misaligned die, meaning that the design on the coin doesn't line up properly. This can create a strikingly off-center image, and these misaligned die pennies are considered to be collectible because they are unusual and not something you'd typically see. If you have a 1977 penny with this type of error, it could be worth much more than face value. Now, let's get to the exciting part. How much could your 1977 Lincoln 1 cent be worth? While most 1977 pennies are worth just 1 cent, if you're lucky enough to have a coin in uncirculated condition or with one of these rare minting errors, you could be looking at a much larger payout. In fact, a well-preserved 1977 Lincoln penny with a minting error, or one that has been certified by professional grading services, could sell for as much as $42,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $42,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe that something as small as a penny could be worth such an incredible sum, but in the world of coin collecting, it's the rare and unique coins that command the highest prices. The value of these coins can skyrocket depending on their rarity, condition, and any special characteristics they possess. So, if you find a 1977 Lincoln 1 cent with a double die or misaligned die error in pristine condition, you could be holding onto a true treasure. So, how can you tell if your 1977 penny is one of the valuable ones? First, take a close look at the condition of the coin. If it's in excellent shape with no signs of wear, discoloration, or scratches, it could be a candidate for higher value. Next, carefully inspect the coin for any minting errors. Look for signs of doubling in the design, particularly on the date or the inscriptions. If the letters or numbers appear to be slightly doubled, you've found a double die error. You should also check for any misalignment in the design, as this can significantly impact the coin's value. If you suspect that your 1977 penny might be rare or valuable, the best course of action is to have it professionally graded by a trusted numismatic service. They can assess the coin's condition and determine whether it has any errors that might increase its worth. A professional grading can also provide you with a certified value, making it easier to sell or trade your coin. Collecting rare coins like the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent is one of the most exciting aspects of numismatics. You never know when you might come across a coin that's worth far more than you could have imagined. Sometimes, the most valuable pieces are the ones that seem the least significant at first glance. That's what makes coin collecting such a thrilling and rewarding hobby. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the world of rare coins. If you enjoyed learning about the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent and want to stay updated on the latest coin discoveries, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Coin collecting is full of surprises, and who knows? Maybe your next find will be worth more than you ever dreamed. Happy collecting, and remember, sometimes the value of a coin isn't what it seems at first, so keep your eyes open, you might just be sitting on a fortune.